Hi, I'm Zoe and welcome back to my booktube channel, Book Hooked. Today, I'm very excited to share with you guys my autumn TBR. Autumn is my all-time favorite season and I'm just very excited to have a TBR set for this year. I didn't have one before, so I'm very excited to have one this year and to share it with y'all, so I'm just gonna get right into it. I have 17 books on my autumn TBR. I had 30, but I was like, Zoe, you're not gonna do that. So the first book is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. One, because this cover just screams the colors of autumn. Like, look at this. The thing is, these books are so comfy and cozy to me because my family and I have been obsessed with these movies like since I was born, since I can remember. And they are just like so comforting, and anytime I watch them I just feel at home, and that's something I love when I'm reading in autumn, is something cozy and comfortable. And I know this story so well because I've watched the movie so many times and I haven't finished reading the series yet. I know, forgive me. My parents raised me that way, so sorry, blame them. But this thing is chunky, so I'm gonna be determined. I'm gonna say October is the month I'm gonna read this. I'm going to. I might just listen to the audiobook because like I can't. I don't know if I can do this, but it's just so comfy and cozy, and it's like wizards and witches, gives off that vibe. Anything mystical and magical is also great. I'm going to try and read this. Will this happen? We all know, but I'm gonna try. The next is Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. I was kindly gifted this by Nell from Nell herself for my birthday, so thank you so much, Nell. One of the reviews says, eerie, immersive, and fascinating. Bloodleaf feels like a classic in the making. And I'm like, okay, classics are perfect for autumn season. Eerie, and I'm just like, I feel like this will work really well. I've been saving this because as soon as I heard that she was a witch, I'm like, I'm saving this for autumn time because, you know, perfect time. But yeah, I'm really excited, and the covers are so gorgeous, I can't. But I'm very excited to get to the series, so hopefully I can start this in the autumn season. Next, I have The Hobbit or There and Back Again. I can't even begin to describe my love and obsession for these movies. With Bilbo, and you see him in the Shire and everything, the music, it's so like cottagey and like peaceful and classic, and it's so cozy, and like the whole time it is like taking place in autumn for the majority of like the first couple movies. I think you see a lot of like the autumn leaves and colors, and the music itself, it's so calming and it's so cozy, and it's such an adventure, and it's magical and it's epic all mixed into one, and it's so perfect. So I really want to try and read this hopefully this season. It'll probably be more of a last resort since I've already like watched the movie, so I know the whole story, but I really want to get to it. Next we have Return Once More by Trisha Lay. I will try and get the cover up here, hopefully. As you can see from the cover, I feel like the colors and all give autumn vibes. It is a time travel young adult fantasy, sci-fi maybe? I'm not sure. I really like Trisha Lay's other series, which is the Last Year series, so hopefully I'll like this other one. I've not really read a book about time travel, so I feel like it might be something cozy and magical to read too. I don't know. We'll see if I get to it. Next we have Awakens by Elise Kova. This cover has always given me autumn vibes. It's a fantasy, young adult, magic, romance, high fantasy, fiction, new adult, paranormal. Says Goodreads. I'll read you guys the description. The Solaris Empire is one conquest away from uniting the continent. The rare magic sleeping in 17-year-old library princess, I don't want to say her name because I don't know how to pronounce it, could shift the tides of war. Bella has always been taught to fear the Tower of Sorcerers, a mysterious magic society, and has been happy in her quiet world of books. But after she unknowingly saves the life of one of the most powerful sorcerers of them all, the crowned prince, Aldrich, she finds herself enticed into his world. Now she must decide her future, embrace her sorcery and leave the life she's known, or eradicate her magic and remain as she's always been. And with powerful forces lurking in the shadows, Vala's indecision could cost her more than she ever imagined. Books, library, and magic, I'm getting cozy autumn vibes here. I literally can't wait, and I found it on audiobook, and I'm really excited to get to this. Hopefully I'll get to this one very soon. The next one is House of Salt and Sorrow. This is a retelling, and it's a fantasy, young adult, and I was like, retellings, yes, count me in. And then I saw it was a horror, and I was like, oh, it sounds really intriguing, and it's a horror, so. In a manor by the sea, 12 sisters are cursed. Anna lives a sheltered life at Highmoor, a manor by the sea, with her sisters, their father, and stepmother. Once they were 12, but loneliness fills the grand halls now that 4 of the girls' lives have been cut short. Each death was more tragic than the last. The plague, a plummeting fall, a drowning, a slipping plunge, and there are whispers throughout the surrounding villages that family is cursed by the gods. Disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, Anna becomes increasingly suspicious that the deaths were no accident. Her sisters have been sneaking out every night to attend glittering balls, dancing until dawn in silk gowns and shimmering slippers, and Anna isn't sure whether to try to stop them or to join their forbidden trysts? I don't know. Because who or what are they really dancing with? When Anna's involvement with a mysterious stranger who has secrets of his own intensifies, it's a race to unravel the darkness that has fallen over her family before it claims her next. The only reason I added this to my TBR was because it's a horror, and I'm like, okay, this might be interesting. It sounds really intriguing, so I'm very excited. Next, I have Chasing Echoes by Jodi Perkins. Again, this is a time travel fantasy romance thing, I don't know, but the cover looks completely autumn. And time travel, oh my gosh, yes. And it's like paranormal mystery and all, and I'm like, okay, I'll see you. The blurb says that Taz, not gonna say her last name because I can't pronounce that again, can make things fall with a single glance. Of all the random and bizarre powers that she and her three sisters were born with, hers is clearly the most useless. That is, until New Year's Eve, when high school senior Strider executes a cruel joke. Taz uses her powers and all hell breaks loose. Strider's ill-fated prank lands him straight into a mysterious stranger's powerful curse, one meant to teach him a lesson. Desperate for help, Strider unwittingly drags Taz into the curse with him. Now both are forced to relive the same 20 days of their lives over and over. But something goes deadly wrong. Not only is their loop mysteriously shrinking, Taz learns that Strider is harboring a dark secret. Is his murky past the key to helping them escape, or will their time run out? Yeah, it's mostly the cover because I needed more autumn covers, but I don't know. I think time travel and like this mystery, it sounds pretty good. It's kind of what I wanted Before I Fall to be like, and that was a very, very, very big disappointment. Just gonna say that, but I'm excited. I think, I don't know, it might be cute or something. We'll see. Next is This Coming Store by Regina M. Hansen. You look at this cover and you can't tell me that this is not beautiful. There's a girl and there's a violin, and I was like, okay, I see music in there, and I've been looking for books with like, that are like music based, like involve music as a power, or I don't know, just have a theme in books, and I was like, okay, it's a fantasy, young adult, historical fiction, urban fantasy, mythology, historical fantasy, and Canada. It says Canada under the genres. Music, myth, and horror blend in this romantic, atmospheric fantasy debut about a teen girl who must fight a powerful evil that's invaded her Prince Edward Island home. Perfect for fans of an enchantment of ravens. Well, I never saw that. There's a certain wild magic in the salt air and the thrum of the sea. Beat has known this all her life. It added spice to her childhood adventures with her older cousin, Jerry. The two of them, thick as thieves as they explored their Prince Edward Island home. So when Jerry comes up the path one early spring morning, Beat thinks nothing of it at first, but he is soaking wet and silent, and he plays a haunting tune on his fiddle that chills Beat to the bone. Something is very, very wrong. Things only got worse when Marina Shaw saunters into town and takes an unsettling interest in Jerry's new baby. He has a baby? Oh, the fiddle, probably. Local lore is filled with tales of vicious-shaped, shifting creatures, and the cold, beautiful woman who controls him, a woman who bears a striking resemblance to Marina. Beat is determined to find out what happened to her beloved cousin and to prevent the same fate from befalling the handsome new boy in town who is winning her heart, whether she wants him to or not. Yet the sea always exacts a price. So it sounds a bit like, what's actually going on? But I just feel like it sounds so weird and so mystical to where I think that might be what I need. Something just weird, like what the heck is going on? Like this is just eerie, this is weird, this is like spooky, like, because it sounds like a horror, but it also sounds like a romance and a fantasy and mythology. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but it sounds interesting. Next is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. That cover gives me autumn vibes. I don't know, it's just like ancient classic fairy tale, like dead trees, flowers, I don't know. It looks like autumn. I just threw off my glasses so you don't see a glare. It's a high fantasy retelling, young adult, new adult, it says all three. What? Like fairy tale magic thing, I don't know. How do you pronounce this name? Agnieszka. I don't even want to try that. We're gonna call her Agnes. Agnes loves her valley home, her quiet village, the forests, and the bright shining river. But the corrupted woods stands on the border, capital W, full of power, and its shadows lie over her life. Her people rely on the cold-driven wizard known only as the dragon to keep its power at bay, but he demands a terrible price for his help. one young woman handed over to serve him for 10 years, a fate almost as terrible as falling to the wood. The next choosing is fast approaching, and Agnes is afraid. She knows everyone knows that the dragon will take Cassia, a beautiful, graceful, brave Cassia, all the things Agnes isn't, and her dearest friend in the world, and there's no way to save her. But Agnes fears the wrong things, for when the dragon comes, it is not Cassia he will choose. It sounds magical, but yet at the same time cozy, but at the same time not at all. And I just feel like that might be kind of perfect, and I've heard really good things about it, and I've asked people for autumn recommendations, and a lot of them gave me this book, and I was like, well, that's perfect, I wanted to read it anyways. Next is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie. Yo, why are all the names so hard? It's a historical fiction, mystery, young adult, historical, horror, romance, thriller, that kind of thing. You get the gist. It sounds interesting, it really does, but like, I don't feel like the book is going to be like that at all. It just feels like it's going to take a turn or something. I don't know. We're going to see. But it's also a horror, so I'm just taking my chances. Again, a lot of people recommended I read this book, so I'm going to stick to that. The next one is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. There's a lot of T's. I think it's like a dark academia, which is always perfect for this season. I'm not sure how I'm gonna like this or not, because honestly it sounds really good, but like I don't know if I'm actually gonna like it, like because a lot of things sound good to me, I never end up liking them. I really want to try it because I want to make myself stretch into some genres this season, like horror for sure, and I'm reading a couple urban fantasies, which I don't usually do urban fantasies because I end up really hating them usually, so we're gonna try. It's a fiction, mystery, contemporary, classic thriller, but the description says, under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last into evil. I don't know if I'm totally gonna like it. I know Sherilyn agrees, but I don't know. I'm trying. Next, we have Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. Oh, she wrote one other that was on my list. Oh, she wrote House of Salt and Sorrows. Oh, that's cool. I've heard a decent amount of people talking about it. Like, I don't think, like, a lot of people have, but when I've seen people, like, booktubers read them, they always seem to really love it. This is a horror. A fantasy, young adult horror, romance retelling, historical fiction, mystery. Ellery Downing lives in the quiet town of Amity Falls, in the Black Spire Mountains, 5 narrow peaks stretching into the sky like a grasping hand, bordered by a nearly impenetrable, I can't say it, y'all. You know what I mean. One of those forests from which the early townsfolk fought off the devils in the woods. To this day, visitors are rare and few, but when a supply party goes missing, some worry that the monsters that once stalked the region have returned. As fall turns into winter, so it's around that time, more strange activities plague the town. They point to a tribe of devilish and mystical creatures who promise to fulfill the residents' deepest desires, however grand and impossible, for just a small favor. I love when they include the title, it's so good. But their true intentions are much more sinister, and Ellery finds herself in a race against time before all of Amity Falls, her family, and the boy she loves go up into flame. It sounds so good. It sounds mystical, magical, horrifying. Well, not really that horrifying, but it sounds very thrilling, and I'm very excited. I think I'll probably get to that one, maybe one of the first, I don't know, we'll see. Next is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. It is a horror, thriller, fiction, mystery, adult, mystery, thriller, contemporary, suspense. It says, in horror movies, the final girl is the one who's left standing when the credits roll. The one who fought back, defeated the killer, and avenged her friends. The one who emerges bloodied but victorious. But after the siren's fate and the audience moves on, what happens to her? I think it's Lynette Tarkington is a real-life final girl who survived a massacre 22 years ago, and it has defined every day of her life since, and she's not alone. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other actual final girls and their therapist in a support group for those who survived the unthinkable, putting their lives back together piece by piece. That is until one of the women misses a meeting and Lynette's worst fears are realized. Someone knows about the group and is determined to take their lives apart again, piece by piece. But the thing about these final girls is that they have each other now, and no matter how bad the odds, how dark the night, how sharp the knife, they will never ever give up. It literally sounds really good, and I'm really excited. I'm just kind of in that mood, you know? But yeah, I'm really excited. The next I have The Night Country by Melissa Albert. This is the second book in the Hazelwood series. I read the Hazelwood. It wasn't my favorite, but it was still decently good. It was just complete opposite of what I was expecting. It was like all these fairy tales come to life in her world, and she has to find, it's her sister or something, I don't know. The main girl has to find one of her, like, or no, it's her mom, I think, I don't know. And it was like, what lies in the hazel woods? I'm like, that sounds so good. I didn't expect it to be like actually like really freaky. It wasn't like, honestly now it probably wasn't really freaky, but at the time when I was never into thrillers or suspenseful things or anything horror, which I still am not. So we're gonna see how this turns out, because I might actually end up hating them all because I'm not a big horror fan, but we're gonna try, okay? I think I would like it more if I knew what to expect, but it was just so like, oh my gosh, it was weird. It was like a weird kind of like freaky. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna read the second one, but I'm reading about the second one and I'm like, okay, it kind of sounds good and I know what to expect. So I might read it. I think I found it on audiobook and I think that's why I added this. I can't read the description because it like spoils the first book. It's like really spooky and it's really weird and I'm like, honestly, I kind of miss it, which is weird. Next is In My Dream I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I am in the Spooktober readathon, which is by Haley Hughes, I think. And I think it's dark academia as well, but it's mystery, thriller, fiction, adult, crime, psychological thriller. I don't know, it sounds super good. I'm gonna do the really short description because I don't have time, but it says 6 friends, 1 college reunion, 1 unsolved murder. Told in racial dual timelines with a dark campus setting and a darker look at friendship, love, and obsession and ambition. It sounds kind of spooky, and I think it sounds very good. So those are the 15 books that I want to read this autumn. Let me know if you've read them, if you think I'll like them. I don't know, let me know what you want to read for autumn. And yeah, stay tuned. I shall try to have this video on Wednesday, if not maybe Thursday, but I will be having a video every Friday this month because Tangled Readathon, so stay tuned for my Tangled Readathon video, which comes next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, if you didn't, that's okay, I get it. Subscribe if you want to see more. It's okay again if you don't. And comment below because I love to talk to y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. The one who fought black. I was kindly gifted to the